I'm talking to John Knorr, CEO and founder of SIS Business Systems, during a series of interviews to discuss the benefits of the Uglii systems. And today we're talking about the Uglii benefits for broadcast media. John, how can broadcast media benefit from Uglii?
Joe, there's a number of benefits for broadcast media. Let's be frank, the main one is revenue.
Sure.
Our Uglii systems represent an opportunity for radio and TV networks to get some online revenue sources.
Right.
I think around the world it can be fairly said that radio and TV have largely missed out on revenue streams from online revenue streams.
Sure.
But this gives them a chance to get hold of a bit of it.
Right.
Now, there's also, of course, there's been a swing of revenue away from radio in particular and TV as well, to online advertising, which makes life a whole lot more difficult for radio and TV networks. But we think this is a way that radio and TV networks can grab some revenue back from the internet.
So how are they going to do this? What are the direct benefits to networks and stations?
Basically we see them as being a national partner if they're big enough, or an affiliate if it's a single radio station or TV station.
Right.
What we're really looking to do is form relationships with networks so they in turn can bring in each of their radio stations and TV stations into the system as an affiliate. Now, the importance for that and the synergy, the great synergy between broadcast media and our systems, are that our systems and broadcast media have catchments.
Yes.
And particularly in our spatial system, which is the systems where searching is done geographically for businesses and products and services, then they can be made to align with the broadcast catchments of media. So it's a fairly snug sort of fit. The deal is that we're relying on the ability of radio stations and TV networks to bring businesses into the system and register in the system, and then we're splitting revenue with them from the services that those businesses buy through our system.
So where do these businesses come from?
Predominantly local, of course, local within the catchments of the broadcast catchments of each radio station or TV station.
So you're talking about their advertisers, their clients?
Well, they may not be their advertisers. They could be their advertisers, but they could be just any business within that catchment.
Oh, I see.
So what the system's doing is giving the radio station or TV station a greater source of revenue through a lot more businesses than those that just normally advertise.
Sure.
With them. So it's opening up a whole new revenue stream for that radio station or that TV network.
There'd be the benefit that this radio or television network could advertise to the greater community to come aboard.
Absolutely, and that's what we're relying on them to use, that they can say to people, and a call to action, if you've got a business, come in and register in our directory system, go to our website, blah, 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 and it's an easy process that you can do automatically online, and we'll give you great discoverability of your business. You can see it geographically, and they can show on the TV ad the localness of the system.
It's an added benefit that these local radio and TV stations can
absolutely
offer their or the greater public.
Well,
anyone in business.
Anyone in business, and also their non-business audience too. So people can register in the system.
Sure. And
households can register in the system. So the radio station is going to get three sources of revenue: from business, from households, and from ordinary individuals registering in the system. There are revenue streams. Now, all of the fees in the system are paid by business, but there are revenue streams associated with people and households using the system. Even though they're not paying, there are revenue streams associated that are paid for by business.
Right.
So the ability and the beauty of our system is that it can basically turn everybody in a catchment into a source of revenue for the radio or TV network.
Sure.
And it can do it very painlessly, because what our system is doing is allowing a business to come into the system and get some benefits for free.
Right.
So if I'm a business and I've been told by the radio station or TV station, come into our system and register, and it's free and you get free discovery and other benefits, then I've reinforced my relationship with the radio station by by doing that. So
Okay.
that's powerful stuff.
Okay, John, now Uglii have classified advertising systems. How will that benefit radio and television networks?
The problem that radio and TV have had with online classified advertising is that they never really get to a critical mass of classified ads.
It's a difficult market for them to crack.
Well, it's a fairly thin market,
Sure.
so it's fairly difficult for them to crack because they just can't reach that critical mass of ads in their catchment. So it's not very exciting for advertisers because they're not going to get the viewers, and for viewers because they're just not seeing the depths of opportunities there
Right.
to buy the things that they're after. So what our systems actually do is we've got our classified advertising system is called an aggregating classified advertising system. So what it's showing is all of the classified ads in a particular area. So if a user wants to find real estate within a couple of k's of where that person's living, or whatever it may be, or 500 metres within of a school where the kids go to school, or wants to buy a new car, or is looking for a job, then our systems aggregate and display the results of all of the vendors of classified advertising, of which the TV and radio network and the TV and radio stations would be one. Okay, so their ads are pooled with a whole lot of other ads to make that critical mass up. So it's exciting for a viewer to come through their website, through that radio station's website, TV station's website, and view the available and do a search for the available ads that they want to see. So what we're really doing is aggregating together all of the relevant ads so that there's a critical mass there. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that radio and TV networks generally have not been able to do that. Their offerings are just too thin to be commercially viable. But this way allows them to do it, which means, of course, that they can advertise to, or they can promote classified advertising as a thing to do on their website.
So another saleable product for them.
It's a very saleable product for them because it means that somebody locally can go in and buy an ad to sell their car or their real estate or whatever, and a user can see sufficient results in the searches. The other thing, of course, is once again that system is spatial, so it's very precise. If I'm looking for real estate in a particular area, then it'll show me real estate within that very precise particular area. If I'm looking for motor cars or employment. And just while we're on employment, the employment thing is some people are constrained by transport issues and require public transport, so you can do searches along transport routes and things like that for jobs. So, so it's a very, very dynamic and powerful system.
And obviously very refinable as far as the search.
Absolutely, and it works internationally too. So their ads can be seen comprehensively right around the world and in a different language as well. So Uglii Ads is a very powerful facility, okay, for radio and TV networks. Very powerful, very exciting.
For a start, these businesses register for free, and then obviously there must be a step for revenue to be made. So how does that occur?
Yeah, there are several free benefits to business, including very powerful spatial discovery, including very local spatial discovery, which is sort of the holy grail of search.
Yes.
And that can be done through the radio station's website or the TV station's website.
Yep.
So that's very powerful. But they can also search, a user can search right across the country or right across the world through that radio station's website. So it becomes a window for on the world. The radio station's website or the TV station's website becomes a window for any business activity on behalf of either a business or a consumer or a person or a household.
Sure.
So that makes the radio station that much more important to the community, and it's going to get a lot more traffic and so on. So the radio station's website becomes much more relevant too, very quickly, because it's at last it's a source of information and a source of powerful information for business and discovery for that business too.
Right.
So
businesses initially register for free, then they start to purchase services such as a link to a website or what may be, and those revenues then stream through to the radio station or television station that originally registered them.
That's absolutely right. So a business will come in there. Usually they'll come in there because of free exposure or the ability to. Why not?
Yes.
You know, it's a gift from the radio station, effectively, or
Right.
the TV station.
Yep.
And their initial motivation is to get that free discoverability, and then they'll realise that they need to buy some of these services. And particularly, what happens is they see their competitors in the system too, and then they say, "Well, I want a bit of an advantage over this guy. I don't like him.
Yep.
I want to get some advantage over." Then they start to buy some services through the system, and then the money flows back to the radio station network and to the radio station.
Does the radio and television station have to sell those services?
No, they don't. The system does the selling. Our systems are smart enough to be able to tell businesses which services are likely to be good for that business, and they'll also tell them which services they should avoid. Our system's got 46 services, so not all the services are appropriate for every business.
Of course,
For the average business, probably half a dozen services are good.
Yep.
If I'm a brand owning business, there's some more services that are relevant. If I'm a government, then there's more services. If I'm a telco, there's more services.
Right.
If I'm a credit card system, there's more services, and so on.
So
but they're very powerful and sophisticated.
So you say the system sells the services. So is this a system that's automated that looks at a way a business operates and then says, oh, well, you should have a link to your website? Or...
Well, we know a bit about the business. When the business registers, it tells us a little bit about it. So we know that the system knows that automatically, and then it monitors how that business is discovered in the system and the patterns of discovery.
And that's automated.
It's all automated, and it's smart enough to say to the business, look, you probably should have a link to your website, or you should have a website. If you haven't got a website, you need a website because you're missing out on business because you don't have a website. So the processes are automated. They are not high pressure in any way. They're basically pointing out the opportunities for that business to purchase some services.
Right.
But most of the time, in fact, it's actually saying to business, don't buy these services. These are not relevant for you.
Right.
And there's a few remain.
Because obviously radio and television stations would want to be fairly protective of what information is going out to their clients or potential clients or advertisers. So they need to be assured that there's no hard sell or inappropriate services are being offered to their clients.
Absolutely.
So it really is a gift to their clients.
It's a gift to their client, but it's also a gift to the radio station and TV station. Joe, there's another benefit for the radio station too. When a business registers, it gets a control panel.
Yep.
And in that control panel, there is an opportunity for the radio station network to talk about or present opportunities to that business to perhaps advertise on radio or TV. So there might be some special deals for advertising in the construction industry or the farming industry or whatever it may be that they want to promote. The beauty of that, of course, is that the radio station is getting its services promoted to businesses that it would not otherwise normally reach.
Right, yep.
Okay, so it's doing some of the marketing for the radio station as well, and that's free to the radio station and the network.
Okay. Yep.
So it's a very powerful thing.
Certainly widening their network of what's available to them in their catchment.
It's making them much more powerful as a marketing organisation.
I understand.
Now, that radio or TV network can also offer third-party services, business-related services or products to that business. Okay, so it can also derive some revenue from its ability to talk very intimately to that business. Okay, so what we're really doing is providing the radio or TV network with revenue and the ability to promote its own services to all those businesses, and to promote third-party services or products to that business for a fee that they can charge that third party, and we don't charge the radio station or TV for any of that.
So give us an example of what you mean by the third party.
Well, a third party might be a car company that wants to sell pickups or utes.
Sure.
Okay, and it wants to sell them to tradesmen, let's say.
Yes.
Okay, then our system knows the tradesmen and the people in the construction industry and the farmers that use those sort of vehicles in the system, and it will customise the discussion between in this case, the radio station saying, look, we've got a special offer for you for XYZ utility or pickup truck, and here it is, and we know that you're in the construction industry, so it's just for the people in the construction industry. It's a special deal we've negotiated.
Right. Okay.
So what that's really doing is making the radio and TV station more powerful in its marketplace.
Sure.
As a more powerful medium for advertising, and in that case, very specifically. Okay.
Yes.
Where the system knows that, you know, accountants probably don't want pickup trucks.
Yes.
So it's not going to advertise, it's not going to make that offer to an accountant.
Right.
But it might make it some other offer, some online service or a business related service.
Sure.
To the accountant. Okay. So it discriminates between the various businesses.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very powerful.
All right, so we've got the radio or TV station earning revenue. How transparent is that? How do they follow what they are or aren't earning?
That's good. The Uglii billing system is transparent, and both of the radio stations and the network can log in and see what money is owed to them in that billing cycle, so they can see the activities below them. So the radio station can see all of the activities. The network can see the activities of all of the radio stations below it. And the billing cycle is 14 days, so the system will automatically pay them in 14 days.
Right, okay. Now obviously there's a limited number of businesses out there in every economy.
Absolutely.
So it would be fairly important for radio and TV stations to get on board reasonably quickly and register businesses in their catchment.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that there are other national partners and affiliates like telcos and credit card companies and postal services, those sorts of things that are all
vying for that same space. Yeah.
right. And
Absolutely. Look, we call this the land grab, and
Yes.
and it really is designed. We've very carefully designed this thing to be a rush to get businesses registered. And the reason we're doing that, of course, is that we want a critical mass of businesses in the system and businesses spending in the system, so that we're making money, and so are our partners and affiliates making money. But we've designed the system so it's pretty sticky. So once a business registers through, say, a radio station, it's not going to deregister and then go off and register under a telco or something like that.
no,
So
why should it? Why would it?
there's no reason for it at all to do that. So we've designed the system so once a business is registered, that revenue from that business is going to always stay with that affiliate. In this case, it's a radio station and its network above it. So, yeah, so it's a land grab. It's very important that from each affiliate, in this case, say a radio station or a national partner, in this case, say its network, that it be fairly aggressive about it and bring businesses in as quickly as it can, because it's going to affect that organisation's long-term revenue.
Sure.
Now-
And look, let's face it, I mean, television, radio advertising is quite a powerful medium. They really have it over a lot of the other potential national partners in the fact that they can advertise to their audience for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a no-brainer.
And it's a beauty because it looks like almost like a community benefit.
Of course.
You know, what we're saying is we're trying to help the businesses in our community, in our catchment, in our broadcast area, to be more efficient, to be more dynamic in the economy.
And more discoverable.
More discoverable, and to make more money. I mean, you know, it's a great message, and,
Sure.
and businesses respond to that. We've tested that, and we know that businesses like that sort of message.
Yes. Yeah.
The other thing that's worth pointing out too is that particularly in the radio station area, we know that demographics are not that important. When we first started testing these systems years ago, we thought, we've got to get to the business owning demographic. Well, that was a bit of a mistake on our part, because what we found is the message can be to the teenagers and the younger demographic, tell dad to get his business into this,
Yes.
or show dad how to do this, or go and do it for dad. We know dad's not capable of doing this, but go and get it done for him.
Yes.
And that has just as powerful a cut through, or even more powerful cut through, than if you're asking dad to go and register in the system. So,
Right.
yeah, there's really no demographic that this doesn't work in, which is very powerful.
Okay,
Particularly
so
for radio, it's very good.
The key to this is obviously making money for the TV and radio
Absolutely.
stations.
No, it's a no-brainer in terms of making money.
That's enduring. That's every year. Every time someone renews their link to their website or their
Yeah.
homepage or whatever other services they might buy.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
That's an enduring a revenue stream, and what we know from our modelling, that we've done extensive modelling around the world with these systems and lots of test marketing, because we've had versions of these systems operating for 8 or 10 years
Right.
in some markets, that expenditure per business goes up over time. So at the end of 5 years, the expenditure in the system is about 9 times what it was in the first year.
Right.
So it's an escalating expenditure.
It's a fantastic asset.
It's with no effort on behalf of the TV or radio station. All they're doing is bringing them in, and the system looks after them. And the system is also doing some marketing on behalf of the TV and radio station of its own services.
Right.
It's very, very powerful. The reason that escalation that I was just talking about before, that escalation happens in the system, is because we're constantly bringing in new services that are more relevant to business, and as businesses grow, these systems become more relevant as they spread geographically. So if they've got a new branch, they're going to spend a little bit more money in the system.
Sure.
The importance of this is that they're not spending huge amounts of money; they're spending affordable amounts of money. So every business that's in a catchment can afford to participate in the free services, but just as importantly, can afford to participate in the services that are going to cost it a little bit of money. But they're never feeling ripped off.
Right.
You know, the history of, say, the directory system and paying for search exposure and that sort of stuff is that business feel aggrieved by that process.
Yes.
You know, they feel that they're paying through the nose for it. They've got to do it, but it's costing a lot of money.
Well, that's right.
What our systems are really doing is saying, look, because of our automation, because of our superior technologies, we can make these processes happen for you at affordable rates. So that you're going to spend more money. You're going to spend more money because it's making your whole advertising and marketing processes more affordable. Then you can afford to spend more money with us. So it works for everybody. So it's adding greater efficiency for that business.
And how do you see this working in developing economies?
We're getting a lot of interest from developing economies.
I would have thought so, yes.
It works much in the same way as in a developed economy. Our systems mean that businesses are discoverable and that they can trade. They can trade across boundaries or borders with our technologies. So it can make an economy a lot more efficient because people can see what they want to buy or they need to buy, and they can do that efficiently. They can make decisions quicker because information's immediately hand. The systems work well through mobile phones, so they might have come in through the radio station to register and do business, but they're using a mobile phone to operate in those developing economies. And of course, as we know, the mobile phone industry has penetrated just about every economy quite comprehensively.
Yes, yes.
So there's no barriers for any business now on the planet not to use our system. So it becomes very easy. So the developing economies get the benefit of just having more efficient economies.
Right.
But they have the ability to trade with our systems. Some of the services of our systems are very powerful for international trade as well. So
we've got a steady revenue stream regardless of what sort of economy, whether it's a developing economy or an established economy.
Yep.
This is obviously a very powerful asset, but if the station wanted to, could they sell it? Can they on-sell all of it or part of it?
Yeah. There's processes in our system that allow an affiliate, for example, to sell part of its revenue stream. Now, some of the affiliates in our system may be small people, just individuals who've decided they want to be involved in this thing, and they want to wander around with a laptop and get people registered and businesses registered and do those sort of things. So it's very important for those guys that if they want to sell their business or part of their business, that they can do that. There are simple online processes in our system that allow them to do that.
So it's just that easy?
It's very easy.
Right.
They can sell it to any investor, for example, that wants to own these revenue streams.
Yep.
Somebody who's smart enough to understand that escalation of revenues will find that a very attractive investment. So that's all very easy because some people need an exit strategy. Now, radio and TV stations probably don't need that, but it's there for them if they need it.
Right.
Okay. So if a network wants to sell off a radio station, it could keep the revenue stream from our systems, and just sell off the radio station, or it can sell off the revenue stream from our system and keep the radio station.
station.
Whatever it wanted to do, it can do it. The facilities are all there. They're all built into the system.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very transportable.
Well, John, I'd imagine that there'd be a lot of networks out there fairly keen to sign up as a national partner. What do they do? How do they go about it?
Joe, they need to find what we call a global partner that wants them, and I think the best global partner is one called Radio Mio,
Right.
which is radiomio.net. Now, Radio Mio is really dedicated to the broadcast media industry, and it's run by a guy who's from from radio and TV, so he knows his way around the industry and he knows the problems of radio and TV, and he talks the talk, and walks the walk of that industry. So that's a fairly friendly and familiar sort of
And this can be done online in any economy?
Yeah. Now, the important thing to remember is that we don't need every radio network in the economy, because there's other vendors of our system in there. They can be telcos or postal systems, or just other media organisations that are competing. So,
Sure.
Once again, back to the land grab concept.
Yes.
A radio station that wants to be in there, or a radio network that wants to be in there, needs to be fairly proactive about it and get the job done.
And I guess you're really after aggressive style people. People are out there ready to have a go and try something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
this is
and
about,
make some money doing it.
Yeah, this is about aggressive organisations. And we should have said too that a TV or radio station's reps can act as an affiliate too, and they can sign up businesses as they talk to them about
their own individual clients. For
Absolutely,
example.
Yeah. So it's a very flexible system.
It opens a lot of doors then to potential advertisers that aren't advertising. It gives
the
reps a way to step into the door of a business that they don't do business with and offer them something for free, which is a fantastic networking tool.
And they can step out of that door, even if they've just registered that business in the system, then they've got an assured revenue stream out of that business in the future. So it means that every visit by a rep can be productive. It mightn't end up with a radio TV ad being sold at that meeting, but it can be productive. It can result in revenue.
Simply by registering
and a long-term revenue stream. Yeah.
In a network, from the head office down to the rep on the road, there are revenue streams that can be made all the way through.
Yep.
How can these stations or networks get an idea of what sort of revenues are available, like what they could potentially earn?
Okay. Joe, if a manager goes to radiomio.net, he will see, if he registers on that website, that there is a calculator that he can provide information into, and the system will come back to him with some expected revenue streams for the network and for his radio stations or TV stations. Okay. Now, how that revenue is divided up between the network and the stations is totally a matter for the network and the stations, of course.
Right.
But that resource is there, and it'll give a fairly comprehensive report that can be taken to a board about whether they want to become part of the Uglii coalition, as we call it.
Right, fabulous.
So it's a fairly easy tool for them to use.
Well, I imagine that every network manager that's watching this now is rushing to do that, so we might as well sign off. Thank you very much for talking to me today, John.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah.